Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. So before we get into the drama, I wanted to start off on a lighter note. So right now, Otakon is underway, and the YouTuber Kenisu captured this image. So apparently one of the attendees of the con set up this projection screen and shared the good word, my signature catchphrase, "Your likes are public," reminding everyone at the convention to know that their Twitter likes are indeed public. However, that wasn't the only thing going on at Otakon, so we're going to focus on this thread posted by Curry Rinji, who runs the Vtuber Cringe account on Twitter. He also has a YouTube channel now covering Vtuber drama if you want to check that out. But he came back from a full day of activities at Otakon to find this individual named Kuma, a self-described Vtuber manager, making a whole slew of threats towards Curry, including what many would consider R-word threats as well. Yes, a VTuber manager saying stuff like this is pretty wild. I mean, it seems like they can't even manage their own emotions, let alone other VTubers. But this is one of those situations you have to ask yourself, how did we get here? And also, are these racist claims valid? Well, we're going to prove that all these claims are pretty valid. But let's start with the post that generated all these responses. Kuma made this response to a situation that I'm only going to describe generally because I feel like a lot of the people involved in that situation on Twitter, some Twitter spats, they're doing it to antagonize people of the other race, including black and white users going at each other. And eventually it led to this censored image, which was an individual posting an AI-generated anime slave girl with the intent of antagonizing black users, where Kuma made this tweet saying, "I am blocking names to not even give these pieces of shit even an inkling of clout, also censoring for black, indigenous, people of color, peace of mind. You wonder why BIPOC don't feel safe in anime communities or the VTuber community. You wonder why BIPOC make BIPOC only spaces and exclude white people. You wonder where the racism is. It's right effing there. Look at it. So sick and tired. So sick and tired." So as you can see, they're starting off with a focus on an individual person posting what they believe is racist, but then they use that as a justification to generalize that behavior to not only the anime community, the VTuber community, but also white people as well. And then they followed up in that thread with these comments saying, "Then you all get in your effing feelings when we speak out or say some stuff about white people or don't want to associate with y'all. I effing wonder why." In quote saying, "It's just dark humor, bro. Chill." And they say, "I'm going to show you chill when I kick your effing teeth down your throat. Y'all tough as shit online, but mask up or hide in real life because you ain't about it. Just waiting for the regular drama coverage people to cover this and try to justify it as the BIPOC people are the problem." So yes, the regular drama coverage person here to cover all of this. You got your wish. But I want to make a lot of things clear before we get into the following tweets. People like this are very predictable in their responses to being covered in videos like mine. They're going to immediately respond by saying, "I'm racist," and that I'm defending the picture that they were quote retweeting. I am not doing any of those things. In fact, I think what they posted was vile, and you have every right to call out that person. However, that is not an excuse or a valid reason to attack entire groups of people over it. Here's the thing. This is not a black, indigenous, people of color problem. They are not the problem. You are the problem. Your behavior in this situation and in past situations are problematic. Those are the things that are wrong, and that's what we're going to look into, because this history of making threats and disparaging comments against white people is something that this VTuber is well documented for. So this is what happened. So they made their thread here offering these threats, and Curry Rinji quote retweets saying, "I'll take you up on your offer, internet tough guy plus racist," where then this individual would share a screenshot of that and say, "God damn, quit riding my dick. You're blocked and are still trying to engage with me. Funny AF. Bro, literally trying to justify the posting of that image and the comments made in that thread I posted." So to make it clear, at no point does he justify the posting of that meme. He literally just responded to the fact that this Kuma individual was threatening people with physical violence. It is something they've done many times before and will do again. So this follow-up is really what got people talking. It says, "Justify it then, bitch boy. You in love with me, huh? Come give me a smooch. You always quote retweeting or screenshotting my stuff. Let's link. I'll F you in the ass. You'll be my bottom bitch. Oh, and don't worry, I'm pansexual, so it doesn't matter what you want to identify as." Yeah, I think it's very reasonable to consider that an R-word threat over the internet. And if you really want to understand the severity of what they're saying, imagine if a male member of the VTubing scene said this to a woman publicly. They would be evaporated from social media. Their whole life would be over. They'd probably be doxxed within an hour. Okay, people would lose their minds. However, this individual directs it at another man, and there is pretty much no blowback, other than this thread made by Curry Rinji covering these tweets. And yes, these things are very strange. These are weird threats, and this is something that this individual, this VTuber manager, is well known for. And also, as stated in this thread, they're an unhinged racist, and that is something I think is generally supported by their tweets on this account from Kuma. And people were quick to point out these things in the replies as well. Here's an example of a tweet that was removed from Kuma's account saying, "Don't try and defend this stuff. This person is pasty effing whites. I can't effing stand these people." So when I saw all of these things, I thought to myself, okay, maybe they have a real issue with white people. It's becoming very clear. So it's very easy to search certain keywords to see where this Kuma person stands when it comes to white people. So there's this thread we're going to start off with first, made back in May of this year, saying, "Damn, bro," and for clarity's sake, this is referring to Veibe's use of the R word during her first stream as an independent, or returning as an independent streamer. So, "Damn, bro, the VTuber community seems to struggle with not being utter garbage. It's not hard to eliminate slurs from your vocabulary. You all act like people who say, 'Don't say slurs, please, and thanks,' are asking the world of you. It's as simple as saying it. The fact that a bunch of people are struggling with this speaks volumes." Now, before we read the next reply, just keep this in mind as we read a whole bunch of disparaging words that this user consistently uses and directs towards white users on Twitter. But they made this little statement down here, another huge generalization, saying, "Please tell me why white people always have this edgy phase that is literally just racism and ableism. It's not normal." So yeah, that's a pretty strong generalization, saying that all white people go through a racist phase and also that they're not normal. That's a pretty bold thing to say about an entire group of people based on the actions of one person. But here's one of the replies to that thread, and it is hidden under multiple layers, but basically this whole their use of logic here is something we'll see again. So replying to a user, they said, "Can't be racist to white people. The fact that you try to bring his post into my space is laughable. Goodbye. Call me a coward for blocking you all you want. I am curating my space and who interacts with me." So yes, they are sticking with the "you can't be racist to white people." And as many people will point out, there is definitely something very telling about treating a person differently based on the color of their skin. We all know that these sorts of terms and verbiage used to disparage white people does not have the same effect as things used against people of color. Okay, we all know it's not the same level of seriousness, okay? But it's still very telling that you treat people differently based on their race. It doesn't matter if they're white or anything else. It tells a lot about you as a person. And this is something that they are very insecure about because, I mean, look at this. Multiple layers. They hid the reply, they blocked the user after replying to them, and then limited who could reply to their response here. Basically hiding behind multiple layers to prevent people from having an honest discussion about what they're saying. But they would actually get a lot of flack for that edgy phase they were citing for white people, and they would make this follow-up tweet saying, "Not people coming and telling me that racism is bad for me saying this. You can't be racist to white people. Get in your feelings all you want." Now, luckily, if you want some hope in humanity here, they got blasted in the quote retweets. But moving on, I mean, this whole idea of you can't be racist to white people, Kuma is certainly trying. They are trying their darndest to be racist towards white people. And let's see some examples of that. So responding to another now suspended account, they said, "We don't like bleach demons. They ain't like this in IRL because they'd get their teeth kicked in." So another threat, and calling people bleach demons, which is obviously disparaging to white people. But this interaction is very telling. This is from literally a month and a half ago, okay? So they make this thread saying, "Hear me out. How about instead of these VTuber talk shows where it's the majority of whites, we make an inclusive Black, Indigenous, people of color VTuber talk show. Something that's meant for us." Number one, what's preventing you from setting that up yourself? I do not understand. But an artist would reply to that saying, "Okay, but why refer to white people as white circle emoji? Yeah, what those guys did was wrong, but using an emoji to refer to people is weird." Where Kuma would reply saying, "First of all, I can refer to white people however I want. Also, I didn't ask. Out of this entire post, singled in on that and decided to make a comment. Interesting." So yes, this whole use of a white circle to refer to white people is very strange. It is very strange. Now, I'm not sitting here being like, "Oh, please don't use that to address white people. It's very hurtful." It's just goofy. It's just a goofy thing to do, to refer to a whole group of people as a white circle emoji. We all know, once again, applying this standard in another way, if a white person referred to black people with the black circle emoji, users like Kuma would be screaming racist at the top of their lungs. That just goes to show you how weird this is. Like, it's a very strange hill to die on to want to be able to call a whole group of people under an emoji. But going on, eventually Kuma would say, "I just got to ask for future reference, are you white?" Where the artist would reply saying, "For future reference, what is that even supposed to mean? It doesn't matter what I am. I'm not even about being white. I don't refer slash any race to an effing emoji. Grow up." Where Kuma responds saying, "You come into my space and tell me what I can and can't do when referring to white people. Who the F even asked? Get the F out." Literally no one asked. "You cauliflower munching culture vulture." Which again is another way to disparage white people. Again, another very just goofy and stupid one, but clearly you posted it to disparage this person based on the fact that you think they're white. That's the very obvious intention here, to disparage someone based on the color of their skin or what you perceive to be the color of their skin. And this whole idea of you come into my space, buddy, you don't own Twitter.com. You don't own a space on Twitter. Nobody does. So it's very fair for anyone to come in and question your very strange practices. They didn't come in here and tell you you can or can't post this white circle emoji. They're just asking, like, why do it? It's weird. And it is weird. So like what that's a very fair thing to ask. They're not coming in and telling you what to do. But this, of course, would continue where Kuma would say, "Stay out of Black, Indigenous, people of color's business. You got no place here. You invaded my space to tell me what I can and can't do. Tell me how you can't live down that colonizer blood without telling me." And the artist would reply saying, "Colonizer blood? Just because I'm white doesn't make me a colonizer. Tell me you know nothing about ethnicity and history." Where Kuma replies saying, "I'm not wasting any more of my time on you, Snow Roach. Go rant to your fellow racists and cry about minuscule problems like someone using an emoji for white people." There's just so much gaslighting and manipulation in this thread, I can't even believe it. The idea of colonizer blood being some sort of relevant thing here. Like, these are the same kind of people who will be like talking to a white person or someone like me on the internet saying like, "Oh, you know, your slave owning ancestors. Meanwhile, my whole family came here in the mid 1900s. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. But like, boiling it all down is such a dramatic thing. This is not let me back up. They say it's a minuscule problem. It is a minuscule problem. It's just weird. And this person asking you about why you're using emojis to refer to a group of people is a minuscule question. And you come back with an overblown response talking about colonization and colonizer blood and claiming that these people are terrible and you're using these, what you're attempting to make slurs to use against them. It's all just too much. And the artist would reply saying, Yeah, see, now that was racist. Grow up. You want respect, but then you disrespect people you want the respect from. Social media has really clouded your mind. Where Kuma would reply saying, "Whatever you say, bleach demon." Yeah, take a shot in this video for every single time this person tries to make a slur against white people. Where, of course, the artist then replies with a very valid response to this whole situation. And I found this to be very interesting. So back to that thread talking about, you can't be racist to white people. They hid every single reply that had any sort of a rebuttal to their claim. And I found this one to be probably the most on point. So it's basically saying that not all racism is systemic, meaning you can be racist towards an individual. And that's exactly what's going on. When you're calling people bleach demons and things like that, it's clearly you attempting to be racist or disparage someone based on the color of their skin at an individual level. How is that not a problem? That is a very reasonable thing to consider racism. When you're treating someone differently based on the color of their skin, it seems very clear to me. But even if you want to believe you can't be racist to white people, well, you know what? At the end of the day, you're still a bad person. You're still a very toxic person who treats people differently based on the color of their skin. Put whatever label you want onto it. You're just not a good person. And it seems like you're completely unhinged. And I cannot believe a VTuber manager who can't even manage their own feelings is claiming that they can manage other people's careers. And that's why it's important to talk about these things. And honestly, I know it's a loaded topic, and I ask that you guys be respectful of all these things, but this is a conversation that needs to be had. No one should be able to or feel emboldened to make threats and just cruel remarks to other people because they feel like they're immune to it because the person they're talking to is a certain race. That's just wrong. But that's going to do it for this video. Again, please be respectful in the comments section, but feel free to share your thoughts as well. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.